All right, let's talk about Robert Southey's classic poem, The Inchcape Rock. This thing is way more than just some old pirate story. It's this incredible, timeless tale about how our actions, the good stuff and the bad stuff, end up creating the very waves that decide where we end up. So let's dive in and see what happens when one really good deed gets smashed by pure, pointless malice and the epic payback that comes after.
Seriously, just think about that. What if the single worst thing you ever did came back to bite you right when you could least afford it? That one moment of spite, or jealousy, or just being a jerk for no reason? This question? It's basically the whole point of the story we're getting into. Because in this tale, the consequences, they're not some far-off idea. They are fast, they are brutally ironic, and they are completely and utterly devastating.
Okay, so first things first, let's set the stage. Picture this. We're off the rugged coast of Scotland, and here's the thing. It's a place where a perfectly calm, beautiful day at sea can actually be way more dangerous than a raging storm. And it's all because of this one nasty, hidden secret.
So this is the Inchcape Rock, and what's so wild about it is how tricky it is. You'd think a big, dangerous rock would be a problem in a storm, right? Nope. It's the calm days that'll get you. When the water is just flat and glassy, the rock is hiding right under the surface. You can't see it at all. It's just waiting there, ready to rip the bottom out of any ship that gets too close. A totally silent, invisible kill.
But, for a danger like this, sometimes you get an act of real human goodness to counter it. It's that old story, right? Where there's a problem, a good person steps up to find a solution.
And that brings us to the hero of our story, the Abbot of Aberbrothock. This guy is the real deal, a genuinely good dude. He sees the chaos and the shipwrecks this rock is causing, and he decides he has to do something about it. So what does he do? He comes up with this genius idea to put a warning system in place. He gets a big buoy, anchors it right over the rock, and hangs a bell from it. So simple, but absolutely brilliant. A true act of looking out for his fellow man.
And you can see just how smart this was. The mechanism was perfect. Any little swell in the ocean, any wave at all, would make the buoy bob up and down and the bell would ring. It was basically a lighthouse you could hear. That sound was a clear signal to sailors, danger here, steer away. It became this beacon of safety, and you better believe every sailor who passed by and heard that bell would say a little prayer of thanks for the abbot who probably just saved their life.
But, well, you know how stories go. For every great act of goodness, there's usually some jerk lurking in the shadows ready to tear it all down. The peace and safety created by that bell, it's about to be completely destroyed. It's time to meet our villain, Sir Ralph the Rover.
And I mean, you couldn't paint a clearer picture of good versus evil. You've got the abbot on one side. He's all about foresight, helping people, thinking of the greater good. And then you have Sir Ralph. He's not doing this because he's poor or desperate. Nope. He's driven by pure, nasty envy. It's that timeless conflict, isn't it? The builder versus the destroyer.
So this is it. This is the moment everything changes. On a beautiful, sunny day, Sir Ralph is feeling great, and he sails right out to the Inchcape Rock. And for what? To steal something? No. For some tactical advantage? Not at all. He does it just to be a jerk. Out of pure spite, he absolutely hates that the abbot gets all this praise for his good deed, so he gets this evil grin on his face, orders his crew to cut the rope, and just sinks the bell. You hear it go gurgling down into the deep. Just a totally pointless, malicious act.
Okay, so fast forward a bit. Years go by. Sir Ralph the Rover keeps on roving, pirating his way across the seas, getting rich, and probably completely forgetting about that bell he destroyed. But we all know, actions have consequences. And a storm is coming. A real one, and a metaphorical one. Payback is on its way.
So here's how it all goes down. After years of plundering, Sir Ralph is loaded. He's heading back to Scotland with all his treasure. But then, a massive storm hits. We're talking a gale so fierce it blacks out the sun. A thick fog rolls in, the wind is screaming, and they can't see a thing, nothing. They're totally, completely lost at sea. And then, through the roar of the storm, they hear it, that terrifying sound of waves breaking on rocks. They're near land, but they have absolutely no idea where.
And this right here is the killer irony of the whole poem. In that exact moment, blind, lost, terrified, what is the one sound in the entire world that could have saved them? You guessed it, the warning clang of the Inchcape bell. The same bell that Sir Ralph, in his petty little moment of spite, personally destroyed.
And then, bam, a massive, shuddering crash just rips the ship apart. And in that one awful second,
Everyone knows. Everyone realizes exactly where they are. They've hit the Inchcape Rock, the one thing they couldn't see, and crucially, the one thing they couldn't hear.
And as the ship is going down, as the cold ocean water is pouring in, Sir Ralph is freaking out. But it's more than just fear. It's this horrible, crystal-clear moment of understanding. He's tearing his hair out, cursing himself, because he gets it. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't just a storm. He did this to himself. He is the architect of his own doom, sealed by one stupid, evil act all those years ago.
So yeah, the Inchcape Rock is so much more than just a cool story about a pirate, right? It's basically a perfect lesson in moral storytelling. Let's really unpack the big ideas, the timeless lessons that are packed into this warning. What makes this poem stick with you are these big themes, and they're all right here. You've got your classic good versus evil, of course. You've got the idea that you can't escape the consequences of what you do, but the big one, the real kicker, is what we call poetic justice, or, karma. Sir Ralph doesn't just get punished, he gets punished in a way that is perfectly tied to his crime. He created the danger, and now that very same danger has destroyed him.
And that's the textbook definition of poetic justice, right there. It's when the bad guy gets what's coming to him in a way that's ironically perfect for his crime. I mean, this poem might be one of the best examples of it ever. The way Sir Ralph meets his end is just so fitting. He took away the sound that warned of danger, so he died because he couldn't hear that danger. Perfect.
And the poet, Robert Southey, was a genius at using these little tricks to make the story hit hard, like the imagery. When he says the ship had a shivering shock, you can almost feel that horrible jolt yourself. And the symbolism is super clear, right? The bell is safety and goodness, Ralph is just pure evil. But my favorite is the irony. The whole time Ralph is lost in the storm, we, the readers, know exactly where he's heading. We know the rock is there, waiting for him, which just makes the whole thing so much more tense.
So what's the big lesson here? What are we supposed to take away from all this? It's pretty simple, really. Being evil might give you a cheap throw for a minute, but all you're really doing is setting a trap for your future self. This poem is just this powerful, gut-punching reminder that your actions create your destiny. And if you put cruelty out into the world, it has a nasty habit of coming right back at you.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. The Inchcape Bell, at the end of the day, was just a system, a simple thing set up to keep everyone safe. So, what are the bells in our world today? Think about it. Traffic lights, rules, even just basic politeness, things we might take for granted or even get annoyed by sometimes. What happens when someone, just out of pure selfishness or spite, decides to ignore them, to cut them down? Well, the poem gives us a pretty stark warning, doesn't it? The world gets a lot more dangerous for everyone, but especially for the one who decided to break the rules in the first place.